Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome back to another Premier League prediction video where today, ladies and gentlemen, the game we've all been waiting for so long, it is finally here. Arsenal versus Man City. Dare I say this could be the Premier League match week that decides absolutely everything. But of course, before we jump into that, we do have quite a few other games to talk about. So let's jump into things.
Showtime.
Jumping into game number 1 of Premier League Match Week 23, we have West Ham versus Chelsea. Now, of course, neither of these two teams have had brilliant seasons. I mean, looking at Chelsea, imagine spending £600 million and drawing to Fulham. It's not an ideal situation. But of course, looking at Chelsea, although they've given me no reason to do so, I do feel like they could have the upper edge over a team like West Ham. Looking at Chelsea, although attacking-wise they haven't been great lately, they have kept clean sheets in their last 3 Premier League games, and João Felix should be returning from his red card suspension. And I mean, once again, I have no idea what it is about it, but I do have a feeling he could be coming back strong, and I do think Chelsea could get a win here. Looking at game number 2 of the match week, it is Arsenal versus Brentford. Now, of course, Arsenal also playing Man City later this match week. The big question that will be asked is, will they be resting their best players? Look, I do think Arsenal are taking this competition very serious this year. I do think they will give absolutely everything in every single game. And because of that, I do still think they will beat the likes of Brentford. Although saying that, it won't be easy. Brentford are 9 games unbeaten at the moment. And they've shown against all opposition this season that they can take the points. But as I said, looking at Arsenal, I still think they'll take it, although they lost to Everton in their previous game. I do think it's just down to the fact that Everton had a really good game, which, I mean, I don't know what's more miraculous, the fact that Everton played well or Rob Holding growing his hair back. Strange. The Eagles versus the Seagulls are next. Now, of course, look at this rivalry between the two teams in their last 10 games. There have been 5 draws, and it always has the ability to be a very close game. Although, once again, saying that Brighton have been in terrific form as of late, and as much as I do like this Crystal Palace team, I mean, I could really easily put a 1-1 draw here. Once again, I want to be a tiny bit more exciting, and because of the form Brighton have been in, I do think they'll take another win. The almighty Fulham versus Nottingham Forest next. Now, of course, I absolutely love the transfer upgrade of Keylor Navas from PSG to Nottingham Forest. I mean, he went from a tiny club that have never won a Champions League to a 2-time Champions League winning club. Once again, that is still mental to think about. But looking at Nottingham Forest, having a goalkeeper like Navas, as we saw on his debut, getting a clean sheet, absolute brick wall of a goalkeeper. And versus the likes of Mitrovic at Fulham, he could be such a crucial player for them. I do think, although not the most exciting prediction out there, I am going to go for a 0-0 draw. Although a part of me is excited to see what Andre Ayew, the Ghanaian attacker, does for Nottingham Forest. But as I said, with Keylor Navas in the post, I do think it will be goalless. The Foxes take on Tottenham Hotspurs next. Now, looking at these two teams, looking at Leicester City, they did obviously beat Aston Villa 4-2 in their previous game, but other than that, a very underwhelming season. Looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, although they're not playing as well as they would want to, at least they are 5th in the Premier League, beating Man City in their previous game.
What did it cost?
Everything.
And I do think, looking at stats like that, I do think Tottenham are the better team here. I don't think they will get a clean sheet. Obviously, as we know, Hugo Lloris is out with an injury. But I still think Tottenham Hotspurs will take it. Obviously, Harry Kane scoring 200 Premier League goals. I mean, can we just imagine for a second that he becomes the all-time Premier League top goal scorer and not winning a single trophy? That has to be one of the weirdest things out there. Which, of course, I do want to ask you guys to put in the comment section down below. What do you think Harry Kane needs to do? Do you think he needs to leave Tottenham Hotspurs, or do you think he can still build a legacy at Spurs? Once again, it's always a hot topic. It's been debated for a very long time now, but I am interested to see what you guys say about it. The Saints take on Wolverhampton Wanderers next. Now, of course, they say nice guys finish last. Well, the Saints are dead last in the Premier League table, and looking at the game like this, I do think it will remain that way. I can't see Southampton scoring here, and I can see Wolves scoring at least 1 goal here, because although no Wolves haven't had a brilliant season, they just beat Liverpool 3-0 in their previous game. And versus a team that is just so bad at the moment, once again, it seems to be the most logical option. We have the Eddie Howe derby next, and of course you might be asking, how is he going to cope in a game like this?
Nice.
Well, I do think, looking at Eddie Howe and his Newcastle United team, I think they've been brilliant this season. 4th place, obviously. I do think they've drawn a few too many games, and they do need to get a few more wins if they want to secure that top 4 spot. But I do think versus a team like Bournemouth, they should have no problems. As we know, defensively, Newcastle United have been absolute beasts, and I do think they will take it 2-0. Although, once again, I'm still excited to see what Semenyo does up front for Bournemouth. An absolutely gigantic battle next with Leeds United versus Man United. Now, of course, I'm literally recording this the day after these two teams have already faced each other in that 2-2 draw. And the fact that Manchester United still got to point out that game, absolutely miraculous. But look at United, this is a very, very smart team with a very smart manager. I can't see them making the same mistakes that they did versus Leeds yesterday. And I do think this time around they will fully capitalize and they will get at least a 2-1 win. Man City versus Aston Villa is next. Now, of course, this is the first video I've made since the fair financial play rule of Man City.
We're not so different, you and I.
And there are talks about them maybe getting relegated to the Championship, which, yes, I know I already asked you guys to answer a question a bit earlier. But my question to you now is, if Man City get relegated, how many goals would Erling Haaland score in the Championship?
Stop! He's already dead!
I mean, can you imagine him just there with 84 goals in the Championship, winning the Golden Boot? Once again, absolutely hysterical. But looking at Man City, although yes, they have been a bit wibbly-wobbly as of late, I still back their chances versus Aston Villa, although they have been really good under Unai Emery. And I do think Man City will take this one 2-0. Once again, Man City aren't in a good spot. I wouldn't be surprised at this point in time if Pep actually got up off the seat and left the club because of their situation. But once again, versus Villa, I think they'll take it. The second last game of the video with the Merseyside Derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Now, I mean, this has to be the first time in a very, very long time where Liverpool are actually scared of Everton. Looking at Everton, they've just had a brilliant performance of, dare I say, Dyche versus Arsenal, where they played absolutely out of their socks. But the big question is, can they do it again versus Liverpool? As we know, Liverpool absolutely crumbled this season, and it's really hard to pinpoint what the problem is. But do I think they will be able to get points versus Everton? Well, I do think that they probably are likely, but because of how unconvincing they're going to be, I think both teams are going to get points here. I think Dyche really proved a point with Everton in his previous game, and I do think, unfortunate to Jurgen Klopp, it will be a 1-1 draw. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to our final game of the video, and dare I say maybe the biggest game of this entire season. We have Arsenal versus Man City. Now, once again, in terms of predictions, I didn't even know what to write down in terms of my notes. What an absolutely gigantic game this is, and even in terms of hitting into a prediction, I have no idea what to say. Obviously, looking at City, they've gone through a few problems lately. Erling Haaland is starting to score less and less. Obviously, fair financial play rules. They just loaned out Cancelo. Once again, just a lot not going in their favor. Although Cancelo is kind of them to blame. Obviously, looking at them versus a very informed Arsenal team, which, as I said, that performance versus Everton hasn't happened often this season, and I actually think Arsenal could get the points here. Saying that though, once again, Man City, when they turn on, they can be incredibly scary, and for some reason, I still think Man City will take this one, and I'm going to put 2-1. I am saying that because I do feel like this season could have a bit more drama, and it will all go down to the fact that these two teams still play against each other again this season. I do think that this game won't be the title decider. I think they will get closer after City wins, and I do think the title decider will be the next time they play. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for today's video. Once again, don't forget to put your predictions down below. I know I'm asking you guys to do a lot this video. I do apologize. And of course, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We are still on the road to 10,000 subscribers. And of course, I'll see you all very, very soon. Finn, FY, double N. Bye.